up, everybody?
What's happening, family?
And welcome back to another episode of Is This Gonna Cause an Argument? My name is Angel Tanksley, also known as Angel Akita Moore, also known as That Chick Angel. And I am joined by my husband of 15, almost 16 years, my boo, my main squeeze, the other host of Is This Gonna Cause an Argument? Tell them who you are, baby.
I am Marcus Tanksley, a.k.a. Tank, a.k.a. having trouble getting comfortable for some reason. Over at Justin. Anyway, if this is your first time tuning in, we greatly appreciate it. This is a podcast we do every single goddamn week. And if it's your first time tuning in, again,
I just did you a favor, and you didn't even acknowledge it.
I didn't. What'd you do?
And I will never do it again because now I realize it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry. What did you do?
I did my intro short. I didn't give you that chick angel.
I tuned it out now, so I have no idea what you did. You can completely introduce a different podcast. I wouldn't know because I just block it out.
That's not right.
Why?
Not right.
Anyway, you could have said, and this punk bastard over here is lame as shit. I'd be like, thank y'all for tuning in. This is a podcast we do every single week.
Good to know.
Save myself the frustration. I just don't listen to it. Anyway, we do this every week. We talk about pretty much any and everything, mostly involving around relationships, rarely politics, but we might dig into it. Marriage, all of that jazz, love languages and shit.
We mostly talk about family and marriage.
Family, marriage, and relationship, and things that come along with that, because it's a whole bunch of it. Anyway, and if you are lucky enough to be a part of our Patreon, you are watching us film this live. We are watching the comments come in, and we talk to them as we filming this, and we call them our immediate family because they are family to us. You can be a part of their Patreon for the low of $5 a month. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/thatchickangel. Hey, it's a good time. We do little extra things. We do a bonus on Fridays. They right there with us.
We've been doing, so last Friday we did a little toast to Marcus's birthday.
Yeah.
So it was a bonus featuring him. The week before that, we talked about doing something strange for some change. How much it would take for us to join the taped sex industry.
Apparently not much for me.
So if you want to be able to catch those off-the-cuff conversations, it's a little bit more like ITGTCAA After Dark. It's a little more after dark than our normal podcast is. So again, like Marcus said, you can join our Patreon for the low of $5, or just go ahead and get the whole year, and you can get it for a month for free. Another benefit to our Patreon is that Marcus and I are going on tour this year. We will be doing and releasing our tickets to our Patreon early. Also, there are 2 segments in our tour that will actually require us to bring 2 people from the audience on to stage with us.
Absolutely.
Those will only be Patreon members. We won't be doing that with Gen Pop. So if you want to be able to get early tickets.
Got to be family to come up there on stage
if
with
you
us.
want to be able to interact with us on stage, if you want to have first dibs at the VIP tickets, which will include a pre-show meet and greet, actual time with me and Marcus to chop it up with a professional photo taken, not just some raggedy Galaxy S6
or iPhone, whatever.
Listen, that's true. Very true. You are going to want to join our Patreon. We also have some.
It's going to be something with a replaceable lens, SLR, DSLR, options, editing.
We are also joined by an amazing sponsor that we're going to tell you more about. It's Liquid IV. We'll tell you more about them later on the podcast. If you're somebody that is over here working out in the new year, trying to get in shape, you're going to want to hear about Liquid IV because they are the perfect addition to your daily routine. All right. Now that we got all the business out of the way, let's start with our first segment of today's podcast, which is our oldest segment, In My Feelings.
Let me tell you what's got me in my feelings.
I got something making me feel good.
If you didn't know already, because this is your first time listening or watching In My Feelings, is a segment where Marcus and I discuss what's got us feeling good and what's got us feeling some type of way. Marcus, if you wouldn't mind, husband, with your pretty... First of all, I'm sorry. Let me just comment. First of all, the Patreon already noticed our color coordination. Marcus waits to see what I'm wearing, and then tries to. You do too.
No, I do sometimes. Today, I did. I saw you had on a sweatsuit. That's all I saw. I couldn't see the color.
Couldn't see the color.
No.
Well, typically Marcus will wait to see what I'm getting ready to put on to one, see like at what level he needs to be dressing, and then sometimes he will make sure that the color, like coordinate. They don't have to match, but today we match and we look cute. And I'm mad because I don't have the shoes I wanted to wear because I can't find them.
I thought you had on cream or something. I didn't know it was.
You know, we in the like mustardy brown, earthy. But what I was going to say is this is bringing out the color of your eyes even more, even without the sun beaming into them with your pretty eyes. Marcus got some pretty ass eyes.
Thank you.
He's a punk bastard with some pretty ass eyes. That's how I'm gonna introduce you next podcast episode.
No, I ain't gonna hear nothing.
Okay, so tell us whichever one. What's got you feeling good? What's got you feeling some type of way?
You know, I don't really even want to touch on it, but it's hard to ignore all the stuff going on with police and, you know, the most recent killing and these officers getting charged. Saw how quick their charges came about. Yeah, they charges came about before their shift was over. Let it been 5 white officers, we wouldn't have seen no charges for 3-4 years.
Oh yeah.
So you know, I don't want to hit on it because it's all y'all. I'm sure y'all getting enough of that. And we need a break from it. However, there's something else we need a break from, and y'all gonna hear probably me talk about more about this on Let Us Tell It. But these punk ass dudes in these podcasts and the talk, like, I never really paid any attention, probably because I'm on the privileged end of hearing about, you know, masculine, what's it called?
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. That's what I thought I said. I probably didn't. I never paid really any attention to it. I've even been called, said I was, you know, had toxic masculinity. Never paid attention, didn't care. I'm like, shut up. But hearing these dudes talk, it's just, Angel had me listen to one, and I can't wait to talk about it on my other podcast. It was so frustrating to hear. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that you got this many small dick energy dudes in the same room at the same time, even the women of this culture that they're a part of, I'm like, think better of yourself. And the thing is, it's not a lot of these people around here thinking like this. It's just they're the ones with the mics and they're the ones that everybody can hear. They're the ones with the bullhorn. It's like a massive crowd of people. Mm-hmm. Everybody's saying stuff that got some sense, but they got the loudest horn. And so that's the horn you hear. So then you got people, you got media, you got everybody thinking that everybody thinks like this, and they don't. Don't nobody think like this. And these dudes, they just be out here just saying get your shit together. I can't even say grow up because some of these dudes are older than me. Most of them, actually. I'm like, I could see if you was in your late 50s, early 60s. I could see you having this thought process of, you know, women are less than, or they need to be put in their place or kept in their place, or even if they don't say that subliminally, they say it by, you know, they shouldn't be allowed to do this, or in my household I do that. It's like, dude, I pity you and the relationships that you have in your life and the class of people that you hang with, because everybody's agreeing with you and y'all think this is normal. That's what's got me in my face. I just like, every time I hear, every week, like y'all talked about it. I think y'all talked about it on Here's the Thing. It's like the one chick got on there talking about, you know, she got the dream job. She got the education. She got this and that. And the dude gonna comment, you ain't gonna never get nobody. You ain't gonna never get no man. No, a man like you would never be able to get a woman like her. That's truly what it is. Because you got a lot of insecurities and you wouldn't be able to handle a strong person like that. That's why I see that the same as dudes that pedophiles. I see the same as pedophiles. I see the same as dudes that go for these really young submissive women, because it truly is little dick energy and they need somebody that they can control.
I'm glad you were able to get that off your chest, because he has been waiting to go.
I said, Angel, turn it off. I can't listen.
I'm glad that you and Greg are gonna go further into it.
Oh.
It's crazy.
I ain't editing nothing out.
Marcus does definitely have, this is not to shade you, has toxic masculinity, that he is like, some that he's like, I'm fine with having, some that he's like, oh, didn't even know that was like a thing. You know what I'm saying? But
None of mine's geared toward other like women. Like
for the most part, no, it's not. So for him to hear these men talking like real strong, and then for women to agree in some cases, he's like baffled.
Like, why do you even feel comfortable talking around me? And you need to be sitting in the corner waiting on orders. Go fix us some tea or whatever the hell they drink. For them to agree with this.
Yeah. No, it is.
Stop voting. Stay at home. Have kids. And don't question why he has to leave half the week to go with another family. Just do your part. Why are you even on a podcast? Why do you feel comfortable making money if you agree with this stuff?
If y'all want to know more details about what he's talking about, make sure y'all check out Let Us Tell It this week. Him and Greg will be covering in more depth the specific clip that I showed him and other clips that really personify why there's a phrase called toxic masculinity. So make sure y'all check that out. Let's get your blood pressure down. What's got you feeling?
What's got you feeling some type of way?
He got so mad. What's got me feeling some type of way? This is small. This is petty, but it's pissing me off. You all have seen me talk about our cleaning ladies. First of all, I know this is first world luxury problems because just a couple of years ago, I was a cleaning lady and I needed to be fired. Our cleaning ladies, for what they charge us to clean our house, we are getting a deal, right? Our house, thank God for the increase, is not small in any state in the United States. It's not the biggest house in a lot of places in the United States, but it's not small no matter where you at, right? And we got 4 boys, so our house gets destroyed very quickly, including my mess. So we actually have cleaners come once a week. We can't even do a 2-week stint of like not having somebody come over. My hair is so lopsided. I'm trying to get it to come together. Anyways, so the cleaners that we have are not really good at their job. They're okay. They're not the worst. And I'm not sure if it's a combination of it being us and them. Like maybe they're really good for other people, just not good for us because they make no sense with half of the things they do. One thing they do that I haven't seen them do, but Marcus has, they sweep backwards. Meaning instead of sweeping, which is actually the motion of bringing stuff towards you with the broom, they push away as if they have a push broom, but they're using a regular broom. So they're like pushing the stuff with a regular broom instead of sweeping it. 2, when there is a cup or a container on the counter, whether it be a food container or a cup with a lid, because a lot of our cups have a lid on the counter, instead of opening it to see if it's like mostly used up to like then clean it, they will put it further onto the counter all the way to the backsplash, like as if it's like a basket that holds fruit. So if there's stuff in front of it, like a candle or something else, I might not see that cup until next week. So whatever has been in there has now molded because they didn't take the time to open the cup. So now we have to almost pre-clean our kitchen. And if there's any cups that we want cleaned, we have to throw them into the sink because if not, they will push it off in the corner. Then they will create like areas to like put stuff in. So say it's a vase. They'll be like, oh, okay, with this vase, I'm going to take these Pokemon cards and put them in there. I'm going to take this random key and put it in there. I'm going to take this and that.
The potato peeler?
Yeah, yes, a potato peeler, a butter knife. It doesn't matter. It's going in there. So we now have to know, all right, let me empty this out. The ottomans in our bedroom. Multiple times I have placed the ottomans where they go in front of the chairs. Because we have clothes that have never been put up, like Marcus has a pile of clothes that stay folded at the foot of the bed. I have sometimes random clothes. Sometimes I'm able to get all of my stuff up. Sometimes I'm not. They will always take that ottoman and sit the clothes on top of it and put the ottoman by the bed. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm telling you where it goes.
No, Eric's saying the language barrier doesn't help. They ain't got nothing to do with the language barrier.
The language barrier definitely does not help. I tried to call
I'm
the
just
woman.
saying that ain't got nothing to do with it.
They just be wrong. So
I've told them about the broom multiple times.
Yeah, they just
because I have to, because the bristles go from being all together to now they're splayed out. Right. So when you try to use it, it's just pushing stuff all over the place. And I showed her, I said, I have to cut this off. Don't do that. Because I called them. I said, no, don't do that. Don't sweep like that because you're messing up the bristles. Sweep like this. That lasted all of 2 weeks.
So there is stuff that I already have to do recall for where I put stuff, right? Especially if I didn't go put it back in the right place. So first, usually when I'm looking for something, I'm going through my own recall, retracing my steps. But then there are times where I have to be like, no, stop thinking like you, Angel, and start thinking of like your cleaners. Look in random places for things. Like when we were getting the kids their passports. Oh, no. There was a check that I had been looking for. They put it inside of a diet book on the floor beside my nightstand between other books. I looked for that thing for 3 months. Little Marcus's passport, I was like, oh, his old passport. I was like, dear God, where is it? I used to keep it in my purse. They put it under a pile of clothes on my makeup thing, under clothes of Big Marcus's. Why would you put a passport under clothes? Why? So now there's other things that I still haven't been able to find, but I know they're not going to be. I gave up on a couple of things, and I really don't want to because they were good things.
They're better than the other cleaning ladies still, the ones we had at the other house.
I don't even remember what they. I don't even remember.
By the time they left, it just felt like somebody slightly straightened up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the house, like usually, at least when they leave, it feels like, somebody done came in here and cleaned. The mother was just like, did Angel like pick her socks up?
It's terrible. It's terrible.
But
they don't
everybody
clean the floors
we gonna fire. We ain't gonna fire them. Like they don't.
Now
charge
they did
enough.
ruin our stove.
They did. Mess
our oven. They ruined our new oven.
Brand new oven. Double ovens. There was like the blue porcelain on the inside. They don't use some chemical on the top one. They only put some chemical on it. Now the shine is gone.
It's Dusty McDusterson.
And I am pissed about that. And that's why I ain't gonna say that. We ain't gonna get rid of them because they don't charge enough. the amount they charge us is making them stay.
No, that's the only reason why. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt that if we were to fire them and go with people who really would do us right,
we would get 3 times as much.
Exactly.
It literally would be 3 times as much.
Easy. My mother just hired a woman. I told her to tell her no. That's charging her more than twice.
Mm-hmm.
Than what she's charging us, and still wants to come once a week. I said, Mama, your house is half the size of our house.
Yeah.
And she's charging you more than
That's
twice.
The going rate, though.
I said, nah, tell her. I could see if that woman charged us that. But I said, Mama, nah, absolutely not. Listen, it's the new year. We're actually in February now. A lot of people have been falling off of their New Year's resolutions. If you're like me, you're about to start your New Year's resolutions. And one of my New Year's resolutions is about my hydration and my fitness. And one of the things that's going to help me actually hit my New Year's resolutions right is Liquid IV. The new year is here, and there's no better way to kick off 2023 than by making sure you're feeling like your best self. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand, fueling your well-being in their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, or after a long night and on long flights. Some of the things that I really love about Liquid IV is that the flavor is right. I can't drink things that taste I can't eat or drink anything that tastes nasty. It has to be something that I actually enjoy. And Liquid IV has so many amazing flavors. They have so many amazing different ones that you can try. I'm telling you right now, you will love it. My favorite is their tropical punch. I also love their their passion fruit and their guava. It contains 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. With 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks, made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. And 16 ounces of water, you have 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone, right? You just use 1 stick in 16 ounces of water. Liquid IV is on a mission to change the world. To date, Liquid IV has donated over 25 million servings in 50-plus countries around the world. Grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code ARGUE at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration Today using promo code ARGUE at liquidiv.com. Okay, what's got you feeling good?
Just this year, we got the tour has got me feeling good. We've been talking about the tour. Mm-hmm. I know you really excited about it. Mm-hmm. The Tanksley tour. Me, I'm still me. I got to think through things, but I'm trying to get out of that. I ain't gonna call it doubt because it's definitely not doubt, but I'm trying to get out of the finding all the issues with it or the possible issues and just go directly to being excited about it. Because most things, that's how I assess things. It's like, we talk about it. We've talked about it before. Like me and Angel go look at a house that we want to buy. It's just like Angel's looking at all this is nice. This is nice. I'm like, screw all that. It's supposed to be nice. Let's find the things that's wrong with it first. And then once we figure out what needs to happen with that, then I can get excited about it. So because I have no idea. I've only been on the one with the book tour. So I have no idea what this looks like. But, as we talk about it and plan it and everything, it's more and more stuff's coming to light. So I'm starting to understand it a little more. So I'm going to let myself be ignorant on the things that I'm ignorant on and just be excited that it's happening and trusting the people that's helping us plan this, that they know what they're doing.
Well, listen,
and trusting y'all.
We got 2 options. Either it's going to be successful or it's not, and we will have just taken some fun trips to different cities during the summer.
Oh, no, I'm not. That's the part I'm not worried. I'm just, I want to be excited about it.
Oh, so do you not get excited about trips?
Yes and no. However, we going there for a purpose, so I'm not going to ignore the reason that we are in the city.
Listen, the fact of the matter is there'll be no city where we have nobody show up. That is, I'm certain. Right. Now, would I love to sell out every city? Absolutely.
Let me just have my thought process.
I'm letting you have it. I'm not trying to change your thought process. So my thing is, either it'll be a success or it won't be, but we tried. And that is what I was just talking to my girlfriend, Gabrielle Dennis. And I said, I'm trying to get into the mindset of allowing myself the opportunity to fail.
Yeah.
I usually don't give myself that opportunity. Either I'm going to succeed or I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and I think I already had in my mind what I want this tour to be. But I'm like, all right, this is your first one. You don't know what's going on. Like, maybe you should come out for the, not that I feel like I was overshooting it because I wasn't, but just in case it don't reach that, don't be, it's the, let me change my mindset of wanting a boy and accept if we have a girl. And then, you know what I'm saying?
And also giving yourself the opportunity to learn.
Yeah. And that's what I said I'm doing. I'm just like, just let me be ignorant, figure out what I can, and just learn what this is and be, successful on the next one. Because the next one ain't going to be no excuses. But this one, I'm just like, all right, just let me enjoy this ride. Let me just sit back, relax, see what this is.
Yeah.
Enjoy this ride and not, even though it is work, not approach it like it's do or die.
Yeah.
But that's what's got me excited as a tour.
Regardless
of how little I show it.
What has me excited? Let me think. I have a wedding to go to this week. My little sis Brescia is getting married. And I'm excited. I'm excited because I know this wedding is going to be dope. I know the reception is going to be dope. And one thing me and Marcus typically do is have a good time at wedding reception.
We're going to turn that bitch out.
And there's an open bar.
Oh, they done messed up.
We about to have a good time. My mother made the request, so she's going to call and ask for the request. She was like, I want at least 2 dances with my son-in-law. She's like, a fast one and a slow one. Just 2. And I said, he'll give you that. Why you look like that?
I look like nothing. Okay. That's nothing.
Hey, he said, yeah, she was like, I ain't never danced with him, and Marcus be cutting up. I said, oh, he'll dance with you? I said, he be in good moods for wedding receptions. The way that I think when they saw you dancing at Jackie's wedding, my aunt and them, they were like, now, okay. Okay, now, Marcus.
That's one thing that annoyed me about Angel's family. Victory and Portia finally see it. The smallest thing I do, they treat, like people hype up little kids. Oh, I see you. Hey, oh, look at you. Y'all, calm down.
No, we're not ever. We're not ever. But yeah, excited about the wedding. Excited to get my makeup done. Mom's getting her makeup done. My husband, he's going to look all snazzy in his tuxedo. I love it. I really do. I'm excited. And the other thing I'm excited for is my movie, my short film is in the Pan-African Film Festival, which is happening in LA. Not this week. Yeah, I think part of next week or in the week after next, like the 14th or something like that. So excited to see it on the big screen. I'm also really nervous. They're doing a screening at a agency beforehand, not before, but like next week. And both of my agents already RSVP'd to go. And I am so nervous. My manager, he's going to be out of town. But the fact that my agents are like, and we going to be there. I'm like, So anyways, those things have me very excited. Why do you just look at me like that? This is not a segment that's in our docket, but I wanted to bring it up anyways because it's in, I think, a lot of people's minds because they just watched it. You People on Netflix premiered this weekend. It stars Lauren London, Jonas Hill, Eddie Murphy, Nia Long, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, as well as just an amazing roster of stars and celebrities.
As I call them, XFiles.
Yes, XFiles was the daddy. It was produced, written, and directed by Kenya Barris.
And Jonah Hill.
And Jonah Hill also helped to write it and produce it. If you don't know, Kenya Barris is the creator of Blackish, Mixish, and Grownish.
All the issues.
And Black AF. So he has a bit of an obsession with biracial ish children, and and if you didn't know, on Blackish, the character of Andre Johnson has a shoe fetish that is based on Kenya Barris himself.
Him in real life.
He has a huge shoe fetish. So I saw it. I liked it. I thought it was funny. What did you think?
Yeah, I definitely thought it had its funny moments. I actually liked it. I was expecting something different. Mm-hmm. So if I walked away not liking it, I understand why I wouldn't have, but I ended up liking it. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely got some things I feel it could have been done different. Mm-hmm. But I definitely liked it though.
I enjoyed it. I had some really strong critiques, as you all always know. Just FYI, on any podcast you see me on, if we're going to talk about a movie or a television show that I have seen, I am going to give actual critiques of it, whether I loved it or I hated it. Just because I have been in this industry for so long, there are certain things that I will notice or pick up sooner than a person that is just watching it for sheer entertainment. And I can still watch something for sheer entertainment and have all the critiques. Mm-hmm. I will give over into the show. So here are some of my critiques that I felt like, okay, we could have did this. We could have did this. I thought the emphasis on shoes didn't really serve as strong of a purpose in the storyline, yet the visual of the shoes were so in our face the first 30 minutes. And I feel like if we're going to use, like, it made sense, all the visuals of LA, mm-hmm. because LA culture is very different than any culture in the United States. Right. So those visuals made sense to me. You keep giving me snapshots of different things that you only find in LA? Yes. The shoes, however, I felt like, okay, unless you're going to thread this through, like it'd been different. She was a costume designer. Make her an actual stylist then, where shoes is how she sets all the outfits, her it being Lauren London. 2, I felt like I got a really great glimpse into Jewish culture. Mm-hmm. Not like I know everything now, but it was like interesting to see it from the perspective that they showed it from. I don't think they gave us that same glimpse into Muslim culture, specifically the Nation of Islam. And I think that's for 2 reasons. 1, I do believe Jonas Hill is Jewish. There wasn't a Muslim writer involved in writing this. And you didn't have a Muslim actor. I really feel like as much as I love Eddie Murphy, and I will watch Eddie Murphy in anything he's doing, he could be sewing his socks, and I'm going to want to see it. I think they should have hired Ice Cube, someone who is a Muslim.
Yeah.
Someone who is also from L.A., who gets the L.A. culture. And the type of character Eddie Murphy was playing, that is the wheelhouse in the like easy. That's easy work for Ice Cube.
Yeah, with Eddie Murphy, I was expecting, even though he was a straight, stern, like stiff, mean character, I was expecting a lot more comedic stuff just because it's Eddie Murphy. Don't mean that I have like he has to do comedic, because that's not, he does other stuff too. But I agree with you on the Ice Cube thing. It's just like Ice Cube does a lot better job of being that, like, I ain't here for the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Murphy's just like, so what's going on here? To where Ice Cube, you believe it. Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that character being, Muslim, is just like, let somebody speak to that.
Yeah. And Erica, yes.
The Kufi is like, that's it?
He was Nation of Islam, I'm almost certain, because there were references he made to the Nation of Islam, as well as Minister Farrakhan. I have been to a lot of Nation Islam events in my college years, and I was just like, y'all not giving me what I want in this. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it was a comedy. I just feel as though they could have just they could have
hit on everything. Though they could have hit on what they didn't a lot stronger to even it out. They could have hit on the shoes a lot stronger. Definitely Nation of Islam a lot stronger. Being that was her culture. They were stronger than Jewish.
Yeah.
With his. This is like, now, this is her belief, regardless of, how our father got there, when he got there. This is like, we should have seen more of that too.
Yeah.
And Angel brought up a good point. It would have been perfect of them to do Ice Cube, because it would have made sense that they brought Mike Epps in as the uncle.
It would have been a nice like nod to another very famous LA-based movie, Friday. I don't think we've seen them on screen since with Friday After Next. Next Friday, excuse me, was the first one. Next Friday, and then Friday after next
and then All About the Benjamins. That's it.
Yeah. That would have been a nice little ode to them, but it was okay. It's definitely Sam, one of our moderators. She put it perfectly. It's a great fold your clothes movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I would say about that. Okay, let's move on to our next segment, which is a new segment for our podcast. It's called Tanksley Tiffs. Tanksley Tiffs is where Marcus and I give you some of the actual tips. We were having a conversation when we were talking about this podcast for this year, and we were like, our arguments happen.
Yeah.
Definitely. Typically not about the topic, though. It'd be about something else random. Different. And I was like, I would love to bring in more of the things that we actually argue about, because we don't really too much argue on big level things, because those are the reason why we're together. On big level stuff, we typically agree. It be the small shit that be tearing us up. And one thing that is small that I feel like Marcus is wrong on is the way to load in. Oh, excuse me, not the way to load. Sorry, I was reading the wrong way. The way the toilet paper should go, with the flap hanging from the top or the bottom. Marcus, speak your piece. How should the toilet paper be?
Well, I will start with
No.
Let me talk.
No. answer the question.
I'm about to answer the question.
Which you said first.
So you just want me to say whether it goes on top or the bottom?
Please.
It goes on the top.
It goes on the top.
Over the top. We ain't got no cats. We ain't got no kids that play with toilet paper rolls. It goes over the top. I know people go, well, if you got a cat, he'll smack it. No, we ain't got no goddamn cat. It don't matter. You ain't never been to a hotel room where the flap is on the bottom side because it's professional and it aesthetically it looks better and it only makes sense for it to go over the top. Is that all I'm allowed to say? This is a whole segment.
Just in this moment because you were about to bring up some
stuff.
No,
I was about to start from the beginning. It only makes sense. Just a little more logical about my speaking, okay?
I feel like the toilet paper should go however the person who put it on there put it.
If the heifer put it on there. That's the other thing. You don't get to decide if it goes over the top or the bottom because you don't even put it on the goddamn roll. The roll goes empty. The little cardboard tube goes on there. And she sets the toilet paper on top of that.
Yeah.
Grounds for divorce. You understand me? I'm sick and tired of it.
You ain't that tired of it. It makes it so easy. You just pick it up, pull the toilet paper off, set it back down. See, you don't always have to wipe every time you go. I do.
So now you got to use two hands instead of one.
I always have to use two hands.
Why?
Because I got to open that girl up.
So now you're putting your dirty ass hands on the toilet paper roll when you shouldn't have to because you got to pick it up. You got to pick it up to unravel it.
I don't have to open her before I wipe her.
So it's only one handful at a time?
Yeah.
You ain't never got to go back for a second?
No, I ain't that.
You ain't. All right, so let's go to number 2. You ain't never got to go back for a second and third wipe?
No, not when
You a goddamn liar.
Only after certain activities with you.
Again, you're going back to touch the goddamn roll again. You wouldn't have to do that if you load the damn thing. Load it.
I also think that just sitting it on top is fine.
Sickening.
I'm not sickening.
You are sickening.
I have to usually rush out, wash my hands, do something with the kids. Because
Lie your ass off again.
First of all, the kids
is gone.
No, they're not.
The kids are gone.
They're
at
always
school.
there.
They at daycare.
Amar is in that bathroom with me.
On some bullshit right now.
I'm not.
I know I'm right about the shit going over the top.
The fact of the matter, it doesn't matter. If I did load it and I loaded it the other way, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna flip that shit around.
So I'm just making it.
If you did load it, but I ain't never got to worry about that.
So I'm taking away a step for you so that you're not having to undo the thing.
And don't get mad. Why you go back to hand me?
No, see, that makes it so that I don't care if you go back behind me. If I don't take the time to load it, do what you will, sir. Do what you will. Flip it on top, flip it on the bottom, flip
People
it on
like
the
you
side.
shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Flip it on the other side. Flip it around.
Yeah, call me again. Could you bring some toilet paper up here? Nah.
That's all right. I will
we done
go
ran
into
out
your
because you've been grabbing
closet
too much.
I will wipe myself with one of your lovely soft shirts.
You got a lot more nice clothes than I do.
Pat.
I go eat me some Mexican food and greens. I'll go to town in your closet.
Y'all, last night.
That's TMI.
Oh, I'm not going to say it then.
That's TMI. I'm a little gassy, all right? That's all you need to know.
Our digestive systems have been trash for the past week. I had food poisoning, and Marcus, he's just, I don't know what's wrong with him.
They had an air pump hooked up to my guts.
I said, when he came out, I said, you okay?
I said, it wasn't nothing but air. That's all you heard. Sound like a battle in there. You understand? Sound like you was walking to the battlefield. It was loud up in there.
It was. Unfortunately for me, mine was not gas. It was everything. Yeah. So anyways, point of the matter is with Tanksley Tips.
Hold up. That meme, I saw his meme. Y'all probably seen it too. It said dating versus married. Dating. Yeah, I'm a little sick today. I've been sick for a couple of days. Versus married. I done had diarrhea 5 times.
That is where Marcus and I are. All right, let's move on to the topic of the day. It is the first day of Black History Month. If you have never actually watched our podcast and only have heard us, we're Black. The both of us. We both were made by Black parents, both mother and father. Therefore, we have Black children, 4 of them. So as we move into this month, are there things that you, Sir Marcus, are trying to make sure your boys, I guess, are knowledgeable about and are proud about when it comes to them being Black, specifically African American?
Absolutely. They need to know their importance of them and their character, because, you know, there's a lot of trash stuff out here. So they need to understand that they're not only representing themselves when they go out. And they, you know, that is something that I like to teach them from a younger age. Like little Marcus, he already is in that. He's in that vein. He knows, like, I'm representing my family. I'm representing anybody that looks like me, because they don't have the same privileges as doing what they want. And then people saying, oh, boys will be boys. Two, I want them to understand the significance of being African American, being Black in America and born and raised here. They're going to be looked at differently from somebody that is from Africa and comes over here and speaks with an accent. You know, they're seen as African. You're seen as African American. It's two, out of certain people's eyes, it's two completely different things. They're seen as a threat. Their education is seen as a threat. Their the way they carry themselves, if they carry themselves professionally, is seen as a threat to certain people. And they're going to understand why, and they're going to understand how important it is that they are seen as a threat in that manner.
You're talking about your children?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. They say, I saw this thing one time, it said, nothing looks more dangerous to the wrong person than a Black man reading a book. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, because it represents something. This is like, you know, granted, our history is important, but Black history didn't start with slavery. And they need to know that. They need to understand that. I think it's important that they know all of their history and not just what the oppressed is over here. Even though with all that oppression, where we have come to today is like, couldn't nobody else do this? Go ahead. That's all I got to say about that.
For me, it's very much so wanting my children, my sons, to feel comfortable in various Black settings. I feel like for you and I, being raised in Kentucky, there are definitely certain Black settings or settings that happen to have majority Black people where we keep our head on a swivel, because we're just like, okay, this this could go left. The energy in this room ain't what I'm used to. And then there are other situations where somebody else might feel that way, but we don't have that type of relationship with the people in the room to have any type of feeling of fear. Like, we understand what it is. It's nothing like that. And I do think a lot of times when you're raising children in a place where there aren't many people that look like them, they then become uncomfortable when they are in spaces with people that mostly look like them. So I don't want that for my boys. I don't want my boys to not be around others like them, whether the only commonality is skin color. They might not have the same type of upbringing. They might not have the same type of education. I want them to know that in most spaces, this is at least how I've been raised and what has seemed to be true. In most spaces where there are more of us there, we are actually safe. Versus the other way around. And I think a lot of times when Black children especially are raised in areas where they are significantly the minority, their brains start to feel the opposite, because they are taking on the projection that their non-Black peers have. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your best friend growing up your entire life is some white boy, if he's nervous in Black spaces, you begin to take on how he feels about Black spaces. So that's one of my biggest things, is making sure it's not that I want my son to be like, I feel comfortable going into the hood where I've never been around people I ain't trying to have him be ignorant, but I don't want him also to have those same type of judgments. This is how the media wants us to feel about being around each other. They want us to be fearful when we're in spaces with each other versus feeling like I'm with my people.
Yeah, I was just on that same point. I remember I went to lunch one day when I was out at LAX. For y'all that don't know, LAX is very close to a lot of hoods. Anyway, we wanted to go to this. I wanted Jamaican food. A few other people did too. So few of us went. We had like 2 different cars. We went to this one restaurant. It was deep in the culture, if you will. Anyway, so we get out and it's riding with me. It was a dude born and raised in LA. Other dude was from Detroit and me. And then so we go in this restaurant. And the dude from L.A., he's like, looking over his shoulder and stuff. I look around. It wasn't like it was crowded in there. But we was walking down the street to the restaurant. And then he was like, man, y'all ain't worried about being down here? I'm like, no. Like, I'm good. Looked at the other. I was like, you good? He was like, what would we be worried about, man? Y'all don't know where we at. I said, it's where we at. But, man, we got on safety vests. Like, we going to lunch.
Yeah.
We ain't posing no threat to nobody. Ain't nobody about to pose a threat to us anyway. We go see some dudes. I'm like, hey, man, what's up? What's good? Walk in, they speak. He's like, man, y'all bold. I'm like, I don't see my people as a threat like that.
Yeah.
I never have. I never will. I assess situations. I know when something ain't good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that goes, it's been situations, I told Angel, I go to certain parts of California, I'm packing. And I don't care what the people look like. If I know it's going to be dangerous, if I know something could pop off, hey, so be it. It ain't got nothing to do with what their color looks like. It's like it goes to do with what goes on in those areas. But I want them to have that same of not fearing your own people, because that's exactly what people want you to do.
Yes. And we purposefully put them in organizations and groups where they aren't the minority. That's why it's really big for me to be at a black church versus a diverse church, because in their majority of their week is spent in a school where they are significantly the minority. And it's really hard to get around that here in LA unless you uproot your family and move to a whole different part of LA, which we just aren't willing to do. So, that's the biggest thing, is for them to feel comfortable around other people that look like them in spaces where they are the majority. The second is, while I want to make sure they are finely aware of, very much so, finely tuned to all the dangers that come with people's perception of what it means, especially as little Marcus gets taller and his baby face starts to go away more and more. I also want to combat that to make sure they have that their joy, their black boy joy, is not swiped away too quickly. And I also think that is another thing that the media is trying to do. They show us all these videos of these black men and these young black boys and black women being killed in the street, whether it be by police officers or quote unquote law abiding citizens, which they're not. And we begin to get desensitized to it. It begins to become a thing that we are used to seeing. And so we begin to teach these things to our kids about, okay, this happened. Our kids are having to learn the name of black men they have never met, because the reason they're famous is because they were murdered unjustly. That eventually wears away at whatever joy and innocence that you are supposed to have. The one thing about being a child is once you cross over to being an adult, there is no going back. Once you know, there's no unknowing. And I want to protect their innocence, just like white kids get to have, just like kids of other races and nationalities get to have. I want to protect it as long as possible by making sure I am allowing them to participate in youthful activities. Because just as much as black inventors and black history is important, I feel like having the imagination and the joy of a child and all of that stuff is how these white kids that be these tech giants, these white kids that be creating things that are just mind-blowing, they're able to do that because they're not in survival mode.
Right.
They're able to do it because they're just like, man, I want to try this thing. The dude who came up with GoPro, it was because he wanted to be able to record surfing. I want my kid.
That's all he was doing was surfing.
Yes, I listen. Black people will come up with some inventions out of survival mode, absolutely. But I want to see what my kids can come up with because of their joy and their passion for something drove them to it. And while I know I can't have their heads in the clouds all their life because I want them to stay alive and they have to be aware of when someone is their enemy and when someone isn't. But a part of my big thing about being knowledgeable and being aware and celebrating in their culture is about protecting their innocence as Black boys. I love that my 13-year-old is a late bloomer. I love that Kai is so wrapped up in getting praise for the little things that he does. Like, I don't want to snatch that away from them, and that's a part of they're going to learn about their Black ancestors, absolutely. But I'm also not going to make their life feel so the reprise of Lift Every Voice and Sing a song. I don't want them stuck in there full of the
and that's one thing media definitely would try to do is they try to make our children adults so much quicker than any other race.
They adultify
the little
kids
girls,
so much.
They adultify kids, the little girls, the little boys. They try to make them adults. Anything they do, they want to charge them as adult behavior instead of just a kid being a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's my big thing for Black History Month and making them. It's just allowing them to have the joy. My kids understand that they're Black. We are hella Black parents. They probably know more about them being Black than they know more about them being Christian. Bless their heart. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. I promise. I took side of church with me this weekend, but their Blackness, I feel like they are like really concrete and solid in it without it feeling so overwhelming that they don't think they can exist in other spaces.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to add?
What else? What's next?
Oh, right. You ready?
Let's move to the next one.
Okay.
Hey, we got a few.
No, if we've taken up the time, we don't have to open up another can of worms. But if you could take your child back in history to meet someone in Black history, who would it be? Who would they meet?
I didn't know it was next. I would, I want to say somebody that was already over here, but I think Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa.
Yes. Mansa Musa is the wealthiest person that's ever walked the planet. He was a Moor. He was a Black man. I would want them to meet somebody of that like a type of caliber of that, because
the Mali tribe.
Yeah, Mali tribe, because it's like like all your life, like their generation. I don't know if our generation, it was Bill Gates. Mm-hmm. Their generation, our Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, their generation is going to be the Jeff Bezos. We had the Warren Buffetts and stuff. It's like, yeah, they doing great things. These men came from money, Mm-hmm. However, they ain't nobody reaching the caliber of that, like, historical, that the fact Mansa Musa, wherever they went, they changed the agriculture. Mm-hmm. The wealth of the land would alter just because they were there. That's how much wealth this man had. He changed for, like, back then it was like, 40, 50 square miles, all that changed. Now it would be considered, if the president was flying into Texas, all of a sudden Texas is doing better just because he's there. That's the type of influence this man had, because, they were just so wealthy. And I would want, granted, they gonna know about who he is, but I would want them to see something like that. This is like sheer magnificence, like, you know what I'm saying? Just something that didn't even seem like possible. Like, I'll go off a little bit. Like, you got the Woman King versus Black Panther. I already told you, I think the Woman King is much better. But it's just like, no, that's based on an actual tribe of women that were the soldiers of that tribe, and
Dahomey.
Yeah, the Dahomey. The fact that actually happened, it's like they need to know how great we are, not just post-slavery. Mm-hmm. Like that definitely that's significant because we went from being the completely oppressed we weren't even at the starting blocks. We were way behind the starting blocks, and now we working our way up. It's like, yeah, that's significant too. But look what we did before everything went south.
Yeah.
We were already traveling the globe. That ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
We were already trading with the people that was already living in on this continent and other continents. We were traveling everywhere. We taught the Europeans and the Portuguese how to build ships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think these are things that's significant. It's like, yes, the transatlantic slave trade that happened, but there was a whole lot of stuff that happened before then, and it lasted a lot longer than the slave trade.
Yeah. If I took my kids back to meet somebody, obviously they're gonna meet my daddy, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, or King Arthur as a guy. Now, if he was off the table, if Martin Luther King wasn't who we could say, like we were like none of the ones that everybody mentions. Who would I want them to meet? Who do I feel like was impactful when I read about them? That's so hard. Maybe I was about to say maybe Dorothy from Hidden Figures. I'm trying to think of someone American, not African, that I would want them to meet. I mean, it's hard to top Martin Luther King, especially since he's my father. Maybe this is weird.
Yeah, I was going to say Nat Turner.
Oh no, I did think Nat Turner.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, oh, they might get a little scared because he was up in there blowing heads off. Appreciate him.
Yeah.
Appreciate him. But I was like, so I would actually possibly have them go back to meet my great grandmother. So their great great grandmother, Mulla. She was mean. She was surly. But I would want them to go meet her prior to me being born, like when my mother was in the care of her, when they worked on a farm, to see like how hard they worked. How it was like 13 people in a 1-bedroom house. Like seeing that, there's something about life in North Carolina that has gotten me more intrigued as I've gotten older. I actually want to buy property there. But yeah, maybe something, I think maybe if I didn't do somebody like in history that was famous, I would want to connect them to where they come from. Just so they can kind of like start to link people and also see like how far our family has come.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be it. Because I'm trying to think of somebody like in the arts or in the sciences or in the medical field that I'm like, oh, this would be life-changing for them. Like, what would be the thing that would like spark something in them? And I feel like, or, Lil Marcus, he would definitely love to meet Jesse Owens. I think that would blow his mind if he could meet him. But yeah, I guess one of my people. One of them. They would be like, God dang.
Yeah.
We done came a mighty long.
Yeah, that's, y'all came along. I mean, my fam, they had like farmland and stuff. Like even Granny, she worked for a white family. But when I tell you them white people took care of my granny, I remember Mama said she remember getting teased on the bus because my granny worked for a white family. And my mama told him, she said something about your black mama working for that white family. And she was like, well, they paid my mama more than your mama gets paid.
No.
And then my uncles beat him up.
Well.
But what's funny is the son of that family that was around, I don't know his age relative to my mama's, but he's a doctor. They still talk. He would call and check up on Granny every holiday, on her birthday.
That's crazy. That's crazy. What would you do? Who would your children meet if you could take them in history? Who would you meet if you don't have kids? Who would you be like, I gotta meet this playboy right here? Would it be Rick James?
I was going to say Shaka Khan.
She's still alive.
I know I want to meet at a younger age.
Y'all have a good time. This is random and has nothing to do with podcasts. I just checked my email, and it is for 9th grade academic advising for when our son transitions into high school so we can help him pick his classes. You just go ahead and put me in the bed. I'm done for the day.
Yeah, y'all go on, pull Hearst round back.
This is crazy. Let me go off. That's why I'm going to take him back in history to meet his little self and be like, get back to this size.
Go on, infuse into yourself.
And sit
Stay
little,
there.
please. We actually have 2 more quick segments. We have our Tank Our Advice. We have a question, and then we have the comment of the day, comment of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So with Tank Our Advice. The question that we are answering now is, as a woman waiting until marriage, do you feel that it's best to divulge that up front when dating or wait until the gentleman has a chance to know you better? I've heard both.
Waiting to have sex till marriage?
She's waiting to, she's already made that as her, that's what she's doing.
Okay,
She's
yeah, that's
saying
why I was asking. Waiting to, okay.
So when she's dating, is that something that she should let the young man know up front, or wait until he gets to know you better or better?
That's a trick. I would say wait until he knows you better, but how well are you trying to get for him to know you? Like, I mean, how long?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
And then, if you tell somebody that up front and they don't know you, it's like they might not even take a chance to get to know you. But once they do get to know you a little better, it's like, I ain't doing nothing until I get married. Well, you worth it because I know you a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would definitely not divulge that right up front. It shouldn't be like, hi.
Hey, my name is
my
Lisa.
birthday's
I ain't
this,
having no sex
my
until.
coochie's not being used right now until I get married. No, I would say wait to see if they're even worth knowing that information.
And let them see that you're worth waiting for.
Absolutely. I do think it's wrong if you hold on to it for too long.
Yeah.
Like if you all are already having instances where things are getting hot and bothered, you need to go ahead.
Yeah.
So that they can better prepare themselves if this is the road that they want to go down, of how far they are willing to be able to like, oh, if we're not having sex, then I don't need to be kissing you. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Or they might be a person that's just like, okay, I'm fine if this is just the level that we do. But some men might be like, oh no, once that engine gets going, I don't want to have to keep like shifting back down. So I'd rather us just
because it's painful. It's painful.
But
so don't walk into the building if you know what I'm saying?
No, for some dudes, it's just like no, I don't want to do anything like that. And some dudes are like, oh no, I have enough self-control in that area that we can go to this point and I'm good. Like it's not gonna make me none. So I have a couple of women friends. I have no male friends. I have a couple of women friends that are also, holding off until they are married. And I would say it always works out best once they've had a couple of dates and they notice that there's chemistry, then they let that be known. All right. And then the audience question. As you all know, if you all have any questions for us, you can always leave them in our Instagram DMs. Leave it as a voice note. And if we are able to answer your question, we'll do it live on the show. Our audience question of the week comes from last week's podcast, Foreplay Playbook. Brittany Young says, love this conversation. I was listening to it while in the same room as my husband, and we ended up having a conversation about consideration. He finally understood that I don't want to be cooking dinner for him and our 3 kids if he's just going to grab food while he's on the way home. At least call me first. These kids could be eating cereal for dinner instead of me trying to cook a hot meal for you. She continues to say, but I'ma stand beside him though. We glad you're gonna stand beside him.
I got to have him conversations.
And we glad that he finally got it. It's always when that light bulb goes off, you're like yes, finally, God. So yes, make sure you all are commenting, not only here, but also on our Instagram. We're about to start re-uploading to our Instagram. So sometimes we'll pull a comment from there. So either place, YouTube on That Chick Angel TV, or is this going to cause an argument on Instagram? Baby, tell them where they can find you.
Y'all can find me on Instagram at Marcus Ain't on the Gram, Facebook at Marcus Ain't on the Book, TikTok at Tank Don't Talk, and you can find my building body butter called Man Shit. That's MANSHYT. You can go to manshit.com. Check it out. You can also listen and watch on my other podcast called Let Us Tell It.
All right.
That's all I got.
You can find me at That Chick Angel pretty much across all platforms. You can also, just for Black History Month, get your Mama Likes purse outside of the actual Mama Likes box for, I don't remember how much it's going to cost. You're going to have to go to the website. But it's going to be on the website. It'll be outside of the box. Some of you all have asked for it. So if you haven't got your sweet yams purse or your banana pudding, you can get it. It'll be without the other items, though. So don't be asking for the other things because it's not going to be in there. And it'll just be for the few that we have left. We're going to sell them that way. So support a Black business. Amen. All right, you guys. Until next week, talk to us later. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll see Patreon on Friday for the bonus episode.
Mm-hmm. Have a good one, fam.
Bye.